Uh, this one should be good. So this is pretty much going to be like stereotypical Americans out in Europe, right? The Americans that I guess you would expect to hear about doing American stuff. And I'm not going to waste no time. We're going to get right into it. We're going to check out some videos on TikTok. With that being said, we're smoking all my dragons, divine, righteous, almighty, greats, overachieving, never slacking. And here we go. We're just going to jump right into it. Here we go. Non, je ne regrette rien, ni le bien qu'on m'a fait. So this video right here, how to spot Americans abroad. You damn right, that's how they drink that water. Non, je ne regrette rien, ni le bien. I see in the comments someone was like water and we actually wear deodorant. Shots fired. Someone else said, how dare we drink water? Like someone else said, sorry, we're hydrated. Someone else said, we are also told that drinking tap water outside our country will make us sick. Ooh. Someone else said, I give 0 SHITS. If this is how people spot us, I must consume the life-granting liquid. I'm not going to lie, I drink a lot of water, y'all. I definitely do. You'll definitely spot me out there doing my thing because water is essential. You know, we need that. So
we're Americans in Europe. Of course we know Europe's a country.
We're Americans in Europe. We're going to bring 3 check suitcases up the cobblestone.
We're Americans in Europe. We're going to assume everyone speaks English.
We're Americans in Europe. We're going to ask for ice in our water.
We're Americans in Europe. We're going to speak loudly in public places.
We're Americans in Europe. We're going to go to every monument just to take photos.
We're Americans in Europe. What do you mean the US dollar doesn't work here?
We're Americans in Europe.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely, I'll definitely be out there taking photos like crazy. And listen, everybody else do it too. I see on Instagram, I scroll on Instagram, I see people out there in front of the Statue of Liberty and Empire State Building and out in Miami. I be seeing it. Don't act like y'all don't do that, Europe. Y'all come out here, y'all do the same thing.
We're Americans in Europe. What do you mean the US dollar doesn't work here?
We're Americans in Europe. We're going to complain that there's no AC in the summer.
We're Americans in Europe. We're going to put our phones in our back pocket and then wonder how it got stolen.
We're Americans in Europe. We're going to visit Paris, Rome, and Barcelona and call it Euro summer.
We're specifically Americans working and living in Paris, so everyone's going to be like, oh my gosh, you're just like Emily in Paris. We're Americans.
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I never heard of a Euro summer. That's a trend that I don't know much about. Like a Euro summer? Yeah, I'm late to the party with that one. I am definitely late to the party. Let's see what she has to say.
Yes, I'm crazy. I moved from Dubai to Belgium, and here are my top culture shocks living here so far. Part 2. You can start drinking alcohol at 16 years old? Like, what the fuck? That is so young. I was shocked when I heard. How is this even possible? You're still a child at 16 years old. In America, it's 21 years old. And I think that's an appropriate age for people to start drinking. But then again, that's why a lot of people in Europe are alcoholics, because they started drinking when they were babies. Another culture shock.
Damn. So this is a woman who's an American, but she said she lived in Dubai and she moved to Belgium. Someone else, I see someone in the comments said wine and beer at 16, any other type of alcohol when you're an adult at 18. Someone else said we stopped drinking at 21.
Is that cigarettes are just everywhere. You can get it at the grocery store, and they have these really scary pictures like this on them. And I guess it's supposed to like prevent, I would assume, the 16-year-olds who are already drinking and buying alcohol and wine. I guess it's supposed to prevent them from not smoking. And another thing that really took me time to get used to is that everyone has washers and dryers, but no one uses the dryer. This right here, we don't have that in America. I just put everything in the dryer, but even my husband said, when you put stuff in the dryer, it shrinks, but I don't think that's true. You guys have roundabouts everywhere, not just in Belgium, but pretty much everywhere in Europe. And in America, you will not find that. To me, it's actually like more traffic. Like, I just don't get it. Maybe you guys can explain it to me because I'm confused. Other culture shock is the small, tiny sinks. Why are they so small? They're like for little people. Like, look at this picture. You find this everywhere in Belgium. Like, why don't they just have regular size sinks that you don't get water?
It's not their culture, ma'am. You know, I don't listen. I don't really like obviously as humans we always judging, right? It's just something that we is just in us. But I really don't like to downplay people. You know, if they've been doing that and it ain't broken, don't try to fix it. You know, you a guest in they home, so we gotta respect the way other people do things.
Water all over the place every time you wash your hands. Someone explain that. Most obvious is, of course, no AC. Even though it's freezing all the time in Belgium, there are times where I just want AC. I just sleep better with.
I'm living with no AC right now. In this room, at least, you know, my other room, I'm where I sleep. I gotta have it. But this room, I be sweating. No AC, so I think I would manage. I'm sure the temperatures may be a little different out there, though.
It on. Okay, I think I'm ready. Let me know if you have any culture shocks when you move to Belgium or any other place. Comment below.
I definitely think she might have offended some people from out there. Someone said we don't have AC because we just have to open the window. Someone else said, don't children of 16 drive a car in the U.S.? Someone else, she commented back and said, how is that worse than alcohol? I guess you don't know how bad it is for your body over here. Laugh out loud. Someone said in U.S. they drive at 16 and still be drinking. And she responded, kids might be drinking, but it's not legal. Yeah, you get caught drinking out here. What is like I think it's like a year suspension. About a year suspension. It's like 60 days to a year, something like that. I don't know. But you get in trouble, right? You get in trouble. You know, you can't even play with that out here in America. Someone else said drinking early doesn't make us alcoholics though. For most it makes that we don't drink as much in our 20s and 30s because we are already done with that. Someone else said we learn the effects of alcohol before driving a car, so we know alcohol can hit us later, so we won't drive under the influence. Okay, so yeah, they definitely in her comments letting her know what it is.
Things tourists do that scream American in Italy, so let me save you from some major embarrassment if you're ever visit. First up, ordering a cappuccino after 11 a.m. Don't. Italians treat it as a sacred breakfast drink and that's it. Try it and you might get some side-eye or worse, be asked to leave. Next, please avoid restaurants with pictures on the menu. They're total tourist traps. A friend of mine once paid $450 for 2 pizzas and a beer at one of those spots.
Hold on.
$450.
Hold on. $450. Wait, what? 450. $450. I was gonna say $400.50. $450 for 2 pizzas and a beer. If that ain't the biggest scam I've ever heard in my
friend of mine once
biggest scam I ever heard in my entire life.
Paid $450 for 2 pizzas and a beer at one of those spots. Yep, $450. And let's talk about siesta time. From 1 to 4 p.m., the country slows down, shops close, streets go quiet, and everyone naps. If you can't embrace the slower pace, Italy might not be your vibe. Now their favorite thing in the world. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, it doesn't matter. Italians have mastered it though. They even swirl these little wands for a minute and poof, no more headaches. Grabbed a box of those wands for my mom on Amazon, and now she's just as obsessed as I am. Finally, don't overspend on flights. If you're paying more than $250, you're getting ripped off. My last round trip to Venice from NYC was less than $220. Want tips on scoring cheap flights? Comment Italy and I'll tag you in my next video.
Yeah, I might have to check out her page a little more because that's a deal right there. Round trip to Venice? Okay. Funniest American stereotypes I've experienced.
Americans have some of the worst stereotypes ever, but it has people asking me like the funniest questions Has people asking me some hysterical questions when I'm in Europe. When I was 18, I went to visit an exchange student. For a lot of the time, we were hanging out with some of her friends. And we went out to eat with one of her guy friends this one night. And he was like, oh, have you done this before? I was like, done this before? He was like, yeah, like eating in a restaurant. I was like, what do you mean have I eaten in?
We eat in restaurants. We do. We do, guys. For the Europeans out there that think we don't. I don't. He must have been messing with her.
A restaurant before. Like, of course I've eaten in a restaurant. He was like, oh, not like a McDonald's where you like order before. He was like legitimately astonished when he found out that America just isn't fast food chains, that there's like sit down restaurants that you can eat at. This man also follows me on TikTok that asks this question, so I promise I'm not making fun of you if you see this. The other, like, hysterical part, and now realize this might just have been a me problem. Before we'd ever go out to eat, they'd be like, just don't yell. Don't talk too loud, like, don't yell, like. But I realized that might just be because I'm obnoxious.
Oh man, wild. You guys in Europe must really think we're animals. You're not wrong. A lot of us are. I'm not. Listen, yeah. But hey, I would say that about all humans, right? I would say that about all humans. But yeah, I could see how you could be annoyed for sure. I'm definitely annoyed. I'm actually to the point I don't really like to go out and eat no more. I'm at that. I don't even like going to the grocery store like that no more. People annoy me so much nowadays. So I don't even blame you guys, to be honest. But I need to go check out that girl's TikTok for that round trip ticket to Venice. I need to go do my homework. With that being said, original link in the description, and I'll be back with more soon. Much love.